Yu-Gi-Oh! What's up YouTube? This is Jeremy from The Bio, and today I got a special deck profile for you guys. I'll be going over my BLS invoked deck. It's a deck I've been testing for a while now. It's a really fun deck. For any of you competitive players, it's not really all that competitive of a deck, but as you guys know, I'm not really that competitive of a player. I don't play the meta. This is more of like a casual locals deck, or like, yeah, it's really just more for fun. You can take this to a regional. I don't think you would do very well, but if you enjoy the deck, it's fun, go for it. But yeah, I'll just hop right into the profile. So it's a 40 card main deck. Starting off, you play 2 Alistar Soldier Super Soldier. He's your main ritual guy, your only ritual guy of the deck. His effect says when he destroys a monster by battle, he can inflict damage equal to that monster's attack. So you basically you kill a monster, let's say it's like a 1900 monster, you kill it and deal 1100 battle damage, and then his effect activates to burn your opponent for 1900. So it's always going to be 3000 damage if you're attacking an attack position monster, which is pretty cool. And then when he's destroyed by battle or card effects, he can special summon 1 Gaia monster from your hand, deck, or graveyard. So it's really nice, just like protection. If your opponent Argekis you, just summon a Gaia monster from your deck in defense position so you don't take too much battle damage. Next, you do play 2 Alistar Soldier Envoy of the Beginning. I only have 1. I have no clue where I placed my second one. I'm sorry guys, I'm sure proxies are irritating, but we just gotta deal with it sometimes. But I felt like 3 is too much just because it'll clog too much playing a lot of high level monsters. You do play trade-in, which is nice, but another thing is you also run out of light and dark monsters in your graveyard really fast with the invoked engine, and then playing these guys. It's just I just personally felt like 2 is enough. Next you play 1 Charging Guy, the Fierce Knight. He says you can just normal summon him, but he'll become a 1900 monster, which it's not too bad. It's only 400 attack loss. And he's searchable off of Gateway to Chaos, the BLS field spell, which is nice because you have to search when you activate the card. And he does get summoned off of the ritual when he gets destroyed, and he's a light, which is really nice for the invoked engine. Next, 2 Envoy of Chaos. For any of you Blackwing players, he's basically Kalut, if you guys know what that is. If not, basically during the battle phase you can discard him and target 1 Gaia monster or Alistar Soldier monster, and it'll gain 1500 attack until the end phase, I believe. It's either the end of the battle phase or the end phase. Doesn't really change anything. And then during the end phase, if he's in your graveyard, you can banish 1 light monster and 1 dark monster, add them back to your hand, which is pretty nice. Next, 3 Manju. We're playing a ritual deck. Searching your ritual monster is pretty good. And he's also a light, which is really convenient for Alistar. But yeah, 3 Manju is really needed in all ritual decks. 3 Alistar the Invoker. I only have 2 secrets, which makes me sad, but we gotta deal with it. You gotta play 3 of. You want to search your ritual monsters, or your invocations, my bad. Next, we play 2 Beginning Night and 2 Evening Twilight Night. These are the guys you use to ritual summon BLS Super Soldiers, and they actually give them effects based on like who you use. The ritual spell, which we'll go over in a second, says you have to use 1 light monster or dark monster from your hand, and then 1 light or dark monster from your deck. So you try to use these guys, and they give him broken effects. He says if he's used, he says when he's used for a ritual summon, the ritual monster gains the effect to banish 1 monster on field, and he gives them the second effect that if it destroys a monster by battle, and since it's a graveyard, that monster can attack again. And then he says if he's used for a ritual summon, that monster can target 1 monster on the field and banish it as well. And then you can also banish 1 card from your opponent's hand face down until their end phase, which is really nice. So you can basically banish 3 cards with using these guys, because it's both of them giving that monster the effect to banish a card. So you banish 2 monsters on field, 1 monster from your opponent's hand face down, and then you can attack twice with Super Soldier and deal 6,000 damage potentially with 1 monster. So that's pretty nutty. And then they both have the effect that if they're banished, one will search for a banish from the graveyard. So if you banish him from the graveyard, I believe it's you add a ritual spell. If you banish him, you add a ritual monster, or vice versa. Regardless, they just search for more of your ritual stuff when they're banished from the grave only. And then next we do play 1 Garnet, since we do play Brilliant Fusion in the deck. Because it's a ritual deck, we do need a normal summon a lot, and then that mixed with the invoked engine. If you have like Brilliant Fusion, Brilliant Fusion, Alistar, and Manju, you're in a pretty good spot. So that's it for the monsters. Spells, 1 Rhoda, just because Envoy to Chaos and then Beginning Night and Evening Twilight Night guys are warriors. It's nice searching your ritual fodder. 3 trade-in. Drawing cards is really nice in the game. And then you don't really care if you discard your Super Soldier, because you can ritual summon him from the graveyard, which is the nuts. Next we play 3 Terraforming, since we do play a lot of field spells. 2 Invocation, because we want a fusion summon. 3 Super Soldier Synthesis. This is a ritual card. It says ritual summon 1 BLS monster from your hand or graveyard by discarding 1 light or dark monster from your hand, and then 1 light or dark monster from your deck whose level equal exactly the monster you're trying to summon. So you have to send level 4s basically from the deck. Excuse me. But it's not too terrible. I don't play the other ritual spell just because I feel like it's unnecessary in the deck. But you only need these 3 because you're just trying to OTK your opponent as quickly as possible. Next, I do play 1 Book of the Law, just because with the Alistar link, this is searchable now, and being able to basically mask change into multiple fusion monsters in 1 turn is really good for OTKs. And then next is more proxies, guys. I'm sorry, but you play 3 Brilliant Fusion in the deck. It's a really great extender, and then you can also send one of your light BLS ritual guys, the Evening Twilight, and then fusion summon with him with Alistar by banishing him from the graveyard and Alistar from the field, and then you get a search off of it when you banish it. So it's pretty nice. Then field spells, 3 Gateway to Chaos. When you have to activate it, you have to do a search for a ritual or a BLS monster, ritual monster, or Gaia monster, which is alright. Searching is good, but if you don't have any in deck, you cannot activate it, which sucks. But yeah. And then every time a card leaves the field or is discarded from the hand, it gains a counter, max of 6. And you can remove 3 counters once per turn to search for a ritual spell, the 1 ritual spell we play. So it's pretty cool. And then 3 Invocation, or Magical Meltdown, my bad, because we want to search for our invoked engine. So that's it for the main deck. Extra deck, we play 2 Alistar the Invoker of Madness. This card's nuts. Being able to search your invocation or your I can't even think of its name now. This is gonna bother me, guys, I'm sorry. Being able to search your invocation or Book of the Law is really nice. Anytime a monster is fusion summoned to a zone this card points to, I believe. I don't know if it's anywhere, but you're really only fusion summoning on your turn anyways, so anytime a card is fusion summoned to a zone this points to, you can discard 1 card and add 1 invocation or Book of the Law from your deck to hand. And then you can use him as a fusion material as well, which is pretty cool, because he counts as Alistar the Invoker. But yeah, the only downside to him is he's kind of harder to summon in this deck, because you have to use 2 monsters with different types and attributes, which we only play lights and darks, so you have to get one of each, which is kind of hard sometimes, but it happens. Next, just more generic links. I do play one proxy dragon. You guys can replace this with like binary sorceress or just anything that has extra arrows. One underclock taker just to make it easier to link summon. He's just a lot more generic. And then just generic removal. One Phoenix and one Cerberus. Just popping back rower monsters. For fusions, we do play one Elysium. I still think it's kind of cool. It's a pretty good card, I think. Just being able to basically clear your opponent's entire field, potentially. Yeah, just one of. Next is 2 Mechabuzz. I'm glad he got reprinted as Super, but yeah, 2 Mechabuzz. Discard a card of the same type to negate a card of the same type. Your opponent activates a monster effect, discard a monster, banish it, negate. 1 Malinglesia, whatever you want to call it. Just big damage on fields, really nice. Helps with OTKs. Purgatrio, again, helping with OTKs. If you guys don't know what his effect is, he gains 200 attack for each card your opponent controls on field, and then he can attack all your opponent's monsters once each, and then he inflicts piercing damage, which is pretty cool. Next, 1 invoked Cactus. I don't know how to pronounce his name. Don't care. He's really just there in case you need him. I don't know what you would need him for, but he kind of works really well against Sky Strikers, I guess. Next, Raiden. He's pretty good, being able to flip your opponent's monsters face down. 1 invoke Caliga. You play him just because you can. And then he can be used beneficially for summoning, for banishing your guys from graveyard to get your searches, your Twilight Knight. So he's alright. And then since we do Brilliant Fusion, we do play the 1 Seraphonite. So that is it for the deck profile, guys. Thank you so much for watching. I know a lot of you guys have been wanting the 6 Samurai deck profile. I'm just trying to take a break from Samurai for a while. After this past week, I've just been looking at those cards all day, just in any games. But I thought I'd just try to give you guys a nice, cool, little, fun, casual deck. Again, guys, remember, this is not a tier 1 deck just because it has the invoked engine in it. It's definitely just a more for funsies deck. Take to your locals, have fun at locals. Take to a regional if you already have your invite and just want to play for fun. It's really cool, it's really fun. Highly recommend. If you want to test it on YGO Pro or Dueling Book, go for that. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. Please drop a like, comment, subscribe, share the video with friends. Tell me what you guys thought of the deck profile. Tell me what you guys want to see next. And I'll talk to you guys later. Peace.